Who am I talking with?
Amir Reshef.
And what do you do?
I'm the CEO and co-founder of a legal tech company called DealCloser.
What? DealCloser?
DealCloser.
Okay. And where are you from?
Alberta.
Okay.
Edmonton.
Same place as Jack Newton that founded.
Yes, that's right.
Co-founded Clio. And what does DealCloser do?
DealCloser is a transaction management platform.
Tell me what does that mean?
So it's for corporate lawyers to run their deals through. So the M&A process is typically very paper heavy, very manual.
Right.
A lot of those tasks can be automated with our software. So we make the transaction process better for lawyers and their clients.
And how did you get involved in that?
So I used to be a lawyer at a big international firm, and I just lived that process, and I hated it, and I couldn't understand why.
Which city?
We were doing the thing in Edmonton.
In Edmonton.
Yeah, and couldn't understand why we were doing the things we were doing, and it not just us, like just all corporate law does it that way, and so my co-founder and I thought, wouldn't it be great if there was something that did these things and just made the process less manual, less frustrating, less annoying, and decided to go for it. And that was about 2 years ago.
Was that? 2 years ago. So you went out and started it.
Yeah.
I mean, with what? I mean, did you have savings? Did you have anything?
Not a whole lot.
Was he your co-founder, woman or man? Or
he's a guy, yeah.
Lawyer or not a lawyer?
No, he's technical.
Okay.
He's a technical guy.
How did you guys know each other?
Mutual friends.
Okay.
And so he started off as a contractor, him and his another guy.
Okay.
And then he became the CTO, and the other guy's an employee of ours too. So technically, I mean, I call him a co-founder because he was there from day one, but he started as a contractor.
Yeah. So you had this idea in your head, hey, a better way to do this.
Better way.
This is way too painful.
Yeah. At 5 a.m. night after night, I didn't want it anymore.
Yeah, and obviously if you talk to other entrepreneurs, you are exactly the road that people come from. They're working in some type of issue and they're going, there has to be a better way than this. Too much pain. I can figure out a way that this should be able to get done.
Exactly.
So when you hire him as contractor, how do you pay him? I mean, where'd you get the money to do this thing?
We made a terrible PowerPoint to this is what to explain what it'll do, and I showed it to some lawyers at my firm, and one was like, I'll invest in this. Wasn't even expecting that, but he gave us our first investment. It was now what seems to me like a small amount, but back then was a lot of money.
My God, yeah.
And that's how we started. That was what we started to pay contractors with.
Now how'd you go get the customers?
We built like an alpha, basically, completely non-functional, but it looked way better than our terrible PowerPoint.
Right.
And we went to firms in Edmonton, and I said, when this exists, would you be willing to use it?
Right.
And we even asked for like a small fee just to show people are willing to put money into this. And so that's how it started. It started with local firms in Edmonton. And then as we started to grow, we expanded our reach, and now we're all throughout North America.
You are? All 2 years?
Yeah.
How many firms are using DealMaker now?
DealCloser.
I'm sorry.
We're at over 25.
Yeah, and they're of all sizes. They're going to tend to be a little bit larger because of the nature of the deals that you're doing.
Actually, even small firms do, even like simple sales, like the sale of a gas station. It's not a big transaction, but it's still happening all the time. So our smallest firm is 1 lawyer, and our biggest firm is 400 lawyers.
Yeah. So somebody can go in this interface. It's reduced to an interface as opposed to document by document by document. I assume see where they are on the stage of getting everything done.
Exactly.
Then by putting information in, it's then producing the documents based on the input of information as opposed to filling in blanks in a word processor. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's not quite that. Document automation, we are actually going to build that, but typically lawyers are using their own documents.
Okay.
So we're really a process tool. So they upload their documents. They can invite, so most deals are two-sided, so they invite the other law firm, they invite their clients, of course, they can invite the accountants. Everyone involved on a deal comes together in one true digital version of the deal instead of having separate closing rooms and emailing documents. Then the clients have their own portal where they can securely review and then sign their documents. And as they're signing documents, that's all tracked back, so the lawyer can see exactly who signed what and who hasn't. Right. It's funny because most people think of signing a document, it's very quick, it's one contract or whatever, and maybe 2 people signing.
But when you page after page, post-it notes, and then you missed one. And
when you have 1,000 documents or whatever.
It's hard enough even with the e-signatures going through it, but when you got
the problem gets huge when it's on a deal.
When transferring deals and all the things that have to be signed off on.
Exactly.
It's very cool. did you go directly from, college, law,
basically
articling, you're in the large firm, and now you go an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest surprise? Or let me ask before even that, why you? When you're sitting there working in a large firm, you're not working with a lot of people that are ready to quit and start their own companies. What made you, as somebody that was going to do that?
So it's funny, I never had heard of entrepreneurship until I did a joint JD MBA. And so in my MBA, I'd always just assumed every company's always existed, I guess. I don't know how I never thought of it. But then
nobody's crazy enough to go do something that never went on.
Facebook was always Facebook. I never thought about the people behind the company who started. But then somehow I never missed the boat on it completely. But then I started learning about it more during my MBA, and I was like, this seems amazing. And I decided I gave myself a maximum of 5 years as a lawyer.
Yeah,
I was like, after 5 years, I was afraid the golden handcuffs would kick in too strongly.
Right.
So I said 5 years at most. But then after practicing, and I always thought I'd join a startup and be like employee number 30 or whatever. Right. But then I see it as fortunate enough to live this problem and actually quit long before 5 years. I practiced almost 3, and then decided to take the plunge and co-found a company.
Who are the mentors that allowed you to do that? That you were talking to, I'm going to do this thing and different things? Because obviously you got an MBA, you're learning something, but it's nothing like learning it on the ground.
Nothing at all. So I'm really lucky. Edmonton has a really great tech community and startup community, and I have a lot of friends in that community. So when I was thinking about it, I was able to talk to other co-founders and founders and ask questions like, when should I quit? Am I crazy? What's it going to be like? And I had no idea.
Right.
You can't actually prepare for what it's going to be like. But I'm lucky that I have a lot of mentors in my community that are always willing to give me some time of day, even from some of the really big companies. So Edmonton's a very supportive and collaborative community. So that's how.
What's been your biggest surprise, from the beginning? You go, I didn't foresee that. Maybe it's like every other day.
Yeah. Honestly, this is going to be make me sound very naive, but I thought it would be like a red carpet unrolled for us. It'd be so easy. Customers would be flocking to sign up, and I just didn't expect how hard it was going to be. Also, it's been super rewarding, but I just was completely naive about.
You just thought you'd go to Toronto and walk
down
Main Street and they'd all sign up.
And investors would be like, here's some money. I just was just surprised by, it's obviously not that easy, or else everyone would be doing it. But it's been extremely rewarding, but that was a big surprise of just learning the reality of what I just decided to undertake. Maybe I should have done better research.
Yeah, with your parents and relatives, asking you, what are you doing?
They've been extremely supportive. I'm lucky. My parents, so I don't have a lot of risks. I rent, no kids, not married. So this is the time to try this kind of thing. And my parents are happy that I did, and I would not have been able to do it without them, with the level of support they've given me.
I started my first law firm, and I haven't practiced in 20-some years, and I've traveled 200-some miles to see my mentor in Milwaukee. And I'm telling him thinking about starting my own firm, and he goes, well, you don't have any risk. Ken and I have 5 kids, and we just bought an old Victorian house we're going to restore. He goes, if it doesn't work out, you just fall down and get back up and do it again, and it'll probably work out anyway. I'm like, are you nuts? But I think there's a lot of truth to that, for people to really step back and say, what do I really have at risk? And if I'm really confident in an idea that I believe in, if I don't do it, that might be the greater risk for
That's
me.
the risk,
what I think over all this time. Is your first company and your vision of how it's going to be it's so obvious that it's going to work. But there have been moments where you go, this is going to fly. We're going to do this. I know it now. Are there occasions where that's happened, or do you remember particular events, or you got this client? This is, after the downs, you're start to have some ups.
Yeah, exactly. I still get that feeling when something good happens, but I guess what's interesting is, and what's changed is, it used to be at the early days, there wasn't a lot of good news and there wasn't a lot of bad news. So good news really stood out and bad news was crushing. And now there's more of both kinds, so it just kind of averages out to be a day now. So, but there's lots of moments where I'm just this is awesome. Even at our booth, someone just signed up just earlier, an hour ago. So I was happy about that. That was cool. I was like, this is working. This is validation.
Do they pay a subscription over a period of time? Do they pay per use? How do they?
Yeah, so it's a per person per month cost.
Okay.
So it's.
What do they pay per person per month?
So $79 month to month. Or
pretty good.
Yeah, we're pretty competitive for pricing, and then
or they can pay per year.
They can pay for the year, and then it's like cheaper. It ends up being $69 a month if they.
How did you figure out your pricing when you're sitting there going, okay, nothing like this exists?
So we looked at a lot of other companies,
right.
And including Clio, and we kind of saw the range in legal tech and in SaaS, and that's how we kind of. But pricing is something we have to continually revisit. I read an article that said most startups, they basically set their price in their first days of existence and then never go back to it.
That's right.
And it's one of your most important things.
15 years.
So we don't talk about it often, maybe not as often as we should, but we do talk about it, and we're ready to try different prices out. And startups are like tons of experiments that you're running.
Yeah, you're trying to figure out, can we add greater value to validate this price or increase the price?
Yeah.
Do we need to go down in price as we're becoming more efficient?
Or we have a new feature that's going to be a different tier, or so. There's lots of things you can do.
It's constantly those type of things. How many people are working
at
dealcloser? 8. Okay.
Yeah, 5 of them are here today.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
How's everybody feeling like coming here?
I went last year as an attendee and loved it, and I talked it up on how much fun they're going to have, and it's been awesome.
Do you find that having your people at Clio and you being at Clio, in addition to meeting lawyers and you can sign up customers, just the inspiration you feel?
I mean,
client-centric, we can do this stuff. It just rubs off.
It does. It's very inspiring.
And you're ready to
do more.
Conquer the world.
Yeah. I mean, Jack's keynote yesterday was super interesting from all those stats. I mean, and they've led us to think about how we can what directions we can take on our next features.
Right.
So that that was super valuable for us to hear those stats. He did all the research for us.
Yeah, I'm going on Twitter and I'm giving messages to the team. Why can't LexBlog do this by this date?
Exactly. Right?
And then I'm sending messages.
I'm sure your developers love those.
They're sitting there going, what the hell is he doing? New head of products, I'm messaging him, and he goes, well, we're going to do that with that. And I'm thinking, no, I want it to be like this or that. Okay, we'll talk about that when you get back.
Yeah, my developers too, when I start making feature requests, they try to calm me down now.
Yeah, because sometimes they'll go, hey, you haven't thought about what we might be able to do with this if we work on this to do that. And that'll be a real art on your part, to be able to step back and empower these people to do great things, and they'll come back and do better things than you could have envisioned.
Well, that's what's actually, it's interesting that also has evolved. So it used to be everything I said got built because I was the subject matter expert.
Right.
And now I ask for something sometimes, and my developers will be like, well, did a customer tell you that? Where are you? They question me now about it. Why should we do it? What's the priority?
But sometimes, I tell our team, the customers don't know what they want.
That's true too.
They weren't waiting on. Nobody was waiting on this thing we just introduced to the marketplace, but yet they're buying it.
Exactly. And that's why we also track how they use the app, because that tells a different
line
story
on those things.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if you say it in the beginning, like you said, and then people do it, and it's like, well, maybe there was a better idea that you guys had, and then you get into that yin and the yang approach to it. And it is a lot of fun. What do you tell somebody that's sitting at a firm that's kind of getting the itch, or maybe went through the experience like you, thinking I only want to be in it for a period of time? What do you tell them?
Go for it. That it's not easy.
What's the most important thing they need to have when they leave?
In what sense? From the
I'm not talking about money, but I mean, what do they need to have? What has got to be in their DNA?
Risk tolerance, enjoying situations where there's no instructions.
Right.
When you're an associate at a firm, you pretty much know you do what you're told, and so it's very. You don't have to think too hard about what you do next or how you do it,
right.
But there's no manual for what we're doing, so you have to be prepared for the unknown, really, and be comfortable with that.
Yeah, it's great what you're doing. I mean, it's a cool idea, and what I'm amazed is, I go to different conferences and just set up shop or go on Twitter and say I would like to talk to legal tech entrepreneurs, meet people like you, and they just keep coming. And it's going to be the lifeblood of the law, because as things from large law begin to change in the way they deliver legal services, it's going to take that tech and that automation, and people look at the things differently.
It's coming, whether they like it or not.
That's right. But actually, you can help individual lawyers maybe make more money. They might be able to do more
Yeah,
deals.
we have stats on that, in fact, so that we're starting to collect it with some of our customers. So we are trying to build an ROI calculator because nothing is more compelling than just the numbers. So we're working on that now.
And you can be empowering individual lawyers or a couple lawyers to go out. They can be their own law firm. They don't need to.
Yeah, they can punch above their weight. We like to tell them that because.
I told Jack that. I said, you're batting above your weight, way above your weight. At Clio, and it just continues to get higher and higher. You're doing it, and you're helping those lawyers do it. It's pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun to do this. I mean, it's stressful, but I find the stress better than the stress I had at a law firm. It's like a less toxic stress.
That's a really good way to put it, because people are stressed by, is this what I want to do?
Yeah.
Isn't it rewarding? I'm getting paid a bunch of money. Is this all that's going to happen to me my entire life? You wake up in the middle of the night probably more with that than you do with things that people would think you should be scared about in a startup.
Yeah.
But congratulations. It's
Thank
great
you
to
very
chat
much.
with you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.